And most of these individuals that have succeeded, if we look back in their lives where they grew up, they didn't grow up from, Beverly Hills.
No.
They
didn't come from money.
No, they didn't.
No,
they came up from the slums.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. So it goes to show that, you know what, Luton is not any different. Luton is actually supposed to be one of the areas whereby the great people should come from. So in a way, if any black people or anyone that's listening to this, despite your age or race rather, need to figure out that, regardless what many people perceive, where you're from to be the slump or to be the worst of the worst, that is actually, it should give you that drive.
A proving ground.
To succeed.
I definitely think you're right. I mean, if you take someone like even Jamal Edwards, who came from Luton, he's doing big things with Richard Branson now, etc. He's making it happen for himself. To run with it if you see the opportunity.
Yeah, if we get the opportunity to speak to Jamal, he would tell you it probably wasn't by chance that he got to where he did. It was something that he enjoyed doing, and I think that's the greatest way to success. Find something that you enjoy doing, and make sure that you can put in such a way that people can see that you enjoy doing it, and for them to also get that pleasure out of it as well.
Okay.
He figured that out, which was brilliant. He didn't go through the usual route of it, and what makes that guy so great is that he kind of took a step outside the box here. When you know what you want and what you want to get out of it, the creativity would just tap in, would just kick in straight away.
Would you advise chasing money then?
No, I think that's the worst thing you can do.
Why?
Because
if it's not about money, what is it about? You're saying it's about enjoyment, and the money will come. What are you saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Money is the end result. Money is the end result, and in a sense that
this coming from an accountant.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the means to the end. So money is just what. Because for example, one of my friends said this to me, and I'll never forget that. He said that, what would you have? Would you rather have a room full of money, but you can't leave? What would you do with a room full of money? You can't do absolutely nothing. We shouldn't really be chasing money, because if you chase money, again, you won't. At the end, you won't get anything out of it completely.
So do what you enjoy, do what you like first. Absolutely. The money will come.
The money will come.
I could have sworn Dre said the same thing in How to Rap, didn't he?
He did. The Art of Rap.
The Art of Rap, sorry.
Yeah,
Dre, one of the most successful producers in hip hop history. He said you got to do what you like. In the last X amount of years, he's only spent a few days out of the studio. He does what he loves, and the money came afterwards, and it came in droves. It's only a quick thing. It's the road. Enjoy the road, because it's an interesting time. Enjoy progressing. Dre has been doing things since the late 80s. He's been doing things for the mid 80s. He's been doing things for a long time. Yeah. And he blew up, yes, with NWA and all that stuff, but enjoy what you do
when you do something, you feel like, what else can I push myself to do? What else can I do? What else can I do? So it's just, when you set yourself goals, always make sure is that achievable. When you achieve, it's brilliant. You just see yourself growing and growing and growing and growing and growing, and you can't stop growing. Especially when you enjoy doing something that you're doing, and saying, all right. And sometimes when you enjoy doing it so much, the time.
The youth are notoriously impatient. It's not, they want it yesterday. They wanted it to have happened already. They want to be successful now, and they want the hard times and the hard work to be over. Yeah. In terms of impatience, how do you avoid that? How would you advise the young people to weather that feeling?
Impatience is not a bad thing. It isn't, because it's a result that you want something to happen so badly. So as a result, you should use. It's all about channeling that energy, channeling that emotion, to make sure that, what am I going to do to make sure I get it quicker than I can get in the right way. So as a result, you start thinking outside the box.
Yeah. And you get creative.